Jin Han held his breath as the transport ship docked at the Galactic Federation Military Academy. Through the viewport, he could see the huge space station. It was shaped like a wheel with many spokes coming from the center. The station spun slowly against the backdrop of stars and a blue-green gas giant. "First and only human cadet, please prepare for exit," said a mechanical voice. Jin stood up straight and grabbed his small bag. He had few things with him, just clothes, some pictures of his family, and a small stone from Earth. The stone was from his hometown of Neo-Seoul. His sister Sujai had given it to him for good luck. "Remember what we talked about," said a voice from his wrist device. It was Du Young, his supervisor from Earth's space agency. "Stay calm. Don't show off. They think humans are weak. Let them keep thinking that for now." Jin nodded. "I understand, sir. The Academy doesn't know what humans can really do. That gives you an edge. Earth is counting on you." The connection ended. Jin took a deep breath and walked to the airlock. The doors opened with a hiss of air. He stepped onto the station. Right away, he felt different. The gravity was lighter here, set to 0.8 g, much less than Earth's natural 1.3 g. Each step felt like he might float away. He had to be careful not to jump too high or move too quickly. 3 aliens waited for him. One looked like a tall blue lizard with 4 arms. Another had gray skin, huge black eyes, and a tiny mouth. The third was short with pink fur all over its body. "Human Jin Han?" asked the lizard-like alien. His voice was deep and rough. "Yes, sir," Jin replied with a small bow. "I am Drill Sergeant Krex. Welcome to your doom." The alien's mouth opened to show rows of sharp teeth. Jin wasn't sure if this was a smile or a threat. "You are the first human to join our academy. Many think this is a mistake." Jin stayed quiet. "Your species comes from a planet classified as a Class 12 death world. Yet your diplomats claim humans are physically weak. Strange, isn't it?" Sergeant Krex circled around Jin, studying him. "I'm just here to learn, sir," Jin said. "Good answer. You've been placed in Group D, for physically deficient species. Those who need special help." The other aliens seemed to find this funny. Jin remembered his orders. Don't correct them. Don't show what humans can really do. Not yet. They led him through long hallways filled with aliens from all over the galaxy. Some had tentacles, others had wings or extra limbs. All of them stared at Jin. He heard their whispers. "A Deathworlder. Looks so soft and fragile. Won't last a week." The academy was huge. They passed training rooms, classrooms, and living areas. Finally, they reached a small room. "Your quarters," said Sergeant Krex. "Rest now. Testing begins at 600 station time. Your group will meet at Training Hall 7 for physical assessment." After the aliens left, Jin sat on his bed. The mattress was too soft, the air too clean and filtered. Everything felt wrong. He took out the small stone Sujai had given him and held it tight. "I miss you already," he whispered. Jin had trained for 2 years for this moment. He was the first, but hopefully not the last. How humans performed at the academy would decide Earth's future in the galaxy. His wrist device lit up with a message from home. "Make us proud, but remember the plan. Let them underestimate you, until the right moment." Jin smiled. Tomorrow would be interesting. Morning came quickly. Jin joined a group of small, frail-looking aliens in Training Hall 7. They all seemed nervous. Sergeant Krex stood before them with a cruel smile. "Welcome to your first test, weaklings. This obstacle course was designed for Group D's limited abilities. Complete it if you can." Jin looked at the course. For the other aliens, it might be difficult. For someone from Earth's higher gravity, it looked easy. "Begin," shouted Krex. Jin took a deep breath. This was the moment where everything would change. He stepped forward, knowing that after today, the academy would never see humans the same way again. The training hall fell silent as Jin ran through the obstacle course. He jumped over barriers that were meant to be climbed. He lifted weights designed to be moved by teams of 3. He ran faster than anyone had ever seen of the academy. Sergeant Krex's mouth hung open. His 4 arms dropped to his sides in shock. Jin finished the course in under 2 minutes. The previous record was 15 minutes. He stood at the finish line, barely breathing hard. "Is that all, sir?" Jin asked politely. The other cadets from Group D stared at him. Some moved away in fear. "Impossible," Sergeant Krex finally said. "You must have cheated." "No, sir. This is normal for humans," Jin replied. "Nothing about this is normal," Krex shouted. His scales turned dark blue with anger. "Report to medical for testing. Now." Jin was escorted to the medical bay by 2 security guards. Word spread quickly through the academy. By afternoon, everyone knew about the human who had broken every record. In the medical bay, Jin sat on an examination table while Medical Officer Zin scanned his body. Zin looked like a tall, thin alien with 4 eyes and 6 fingers on each hand. "Fascinating," Zin said. "Your muscle density is 3 times greater than our strongest species. Your bones are like metal. Your heart is incredibly efficient. That's just normal for Earth humans," Jin explained. "Your planet must be terrible to produce creatures like you," Zin said with a mix of fear and respect. The door opened and a human woman walked in. Jin was surprised to see another person from Earth. "I'm Hannah," she said. "Intelligence officer from Earth's embassy here at the station." She turned to Medical Officer Zin. "I'll take it from here, thank you." When they were alone, Hannah smiled. "You caused quite a stir today, Cadet Jin. I was just following orders." "Yes, but now everyone knows what humans can do. The plan was to reveal our abilities slowly." Jin looked down. "I couldn't help it. The course was too easy." Hannah nodded. "What's done is done. Now we need to handle the aftermath. The Academy administration is meeting right now to discuss you." "Will they kick me out?" Jin asked. "No, but they're afraid of you now." Hannah sat next to him. Earth has been classified as a Class 12 death world for a reason. Most aliens can't survive there, and creatures from such planets are usually seen as dangerous. Before Jin could respond, the door opened again. A squid-like alien with 10 tentacles and blue-green skin floated in. "Hello, I'm Lox," the alien said with a bubbling voice. "I'm your new roommate." Jin looked at Hannah in confusion. "The Academy is moving you to the advanced cadets' quarters," Hannah explained. "Lox here is the top student in physical training, at least until you arrived." Lox moved closer to Jin. "Everyone is talking about you. Some are scared, some are excited. I think you're interesting." "Thank you." Jin wasn't sure how to respond. "Come on," Lox said, 2 tentacles waving. "I'll show you to our room." As they walked through the hallways, Jin noticed how other cadets reacted to him. Some whispered, others stared, a few looked angry. "Don't worry about them," Lox said. "They'll get used to you." Their new room was bigger than Jin's first one. It had 2 beds, a study area, and a window showing the stars outside. "The commandant wants to see you tomorrow," Lox said it as Jin put his bag down. "Commandant Vex never meets new cadets. This is a big deal." "Who's Commandant Vex?" Jin asked. "Only the leader of the entire academy. A war hero from the Galactic Wars. Very important and very scary." Jin sat on his bed, thinking about how quickly things had changed. Later that night, Jin received a message from Du Young. "You revealed too much too soon. Be careful. Some will see you as a threat now. Watch your back." Jin couldn't sleep. Through the window, he looked at the distant stars, wondering if he could see Earth's sun from here. He felt very far from home. "Lox," Jin whispered. "Are you awake?" "Yes. We Nixilians don't sleep like humans. Why aren't you afraid of me like the others?" Lox's skin changed color, showing blue patterns that Jin didn't understand. My people were once feared too, Locke said. But fear comes from not understanding. I want to understand humans. Jin smiled. Perhaps he had found his first friend at the academy. The next day would bring new challenges, but for now, Jin was just glad not to be alone. Jin stood straight as he entered Commandant Vex's office. The room was large with medals and strange alien objects on the walls. Through a big window, he could see the gas giant planet the station orbited around. Commandant Vex was taller than Sergeant Krex. His scales were silver instead of blue, and he had a long scar across his face. 6 medals hung on his chest. Cadet Jin Han, Vex said in a deep voice. You have caused quite a stir in my academy. I'm sorry, sir, Jin replied. Vex walked around his desk to stand in front of Jin. Are you? Or are you simply sorry that we discovered what humans can really do? Jin stayed quiet. He wasn't sure what to say. For decades, Earth diplomats told us humans were average. Now I see that was a lie. Vex's eyes narrowed. I don't like being lied to, Cadet. Yes, sir, I understand. Vex returned to his desk and pressed a button. A hologram appeared showing Jin's medical scans. Medical Officer Zin tells me you are not even exceptional among humans. Is that true? Yes, sir. I'm just a normal human. Vex made a sound like a laugh. Then I wonder what an exceptional human could do. The door opened, and a human man walked in. Jin was surprised to see another person from Earth. Ah, perfect timing, said Vex. Cadet Jin, meet Taiwan from Earth's military liaison office. Taiwan nodded at Jin. Good to meet you, Cadet. Taiwan has been helping us design a special test, Vex continued. You see, your performance yesterday has raised questions about human capabilities, so we've prepared something challenging. Jin looked at Taiwan, who gave him a small nod as if to say, It's okay. Follow me, Vex ordered. They walked to a part of the station Jin hadn't seen before. Big signs warned, Danger, high gravity training. Inside was a round room with padded walls and floor. Many screens and control panels lined one wall behind thick glass. Our gravity training chamber, Vex explained. We use it to help cadets adjust to different planetary conditions. Most species train at 0.5 G to 1.2 G. Jin knew that Earth's gravity was about 1.3 G, already higher than most inhabited planets. Today we will see what a human can really do, Vex said. Cadet Jin will attempt the endurance test at increasing gravity levels. Sergeant Krex was there too, standing by the controls with a mean smile. Let's see how strong you really are, human. Jin entered the chamber. Taiwan spoke to him through a communication device. Jin, Earth wants to show what we can do now. No more hiding. Show them our strength, but be careful. The test began at 1 G, standard gravity for most planets. Jin easily completed the exercises, running, jumping, lifting weights. Then they increased to 1.5 G. Jin felt the extra weight but kept going. Other cadets watching from behind the glass looked amazed. At 2 G, Jin started to feel the strain. His movements slowed, but he didn't stop. Sweat covered his face. Enough, said Medical Officer Zin. This is becoming dangerous. Continue, ordered Vex. Increase to 2.5 G. The gravity increased again. Jin's legs shook. His lungs worked hard to breathe in the heavy air, but he remembered his training on Earth, where he had practiced in special high-gravity rooms. Some humans live in Earth regions with varying gravity, Taiwan explained to the watching aliens. Our bodies adapt. At 3 G, Jin was moving slowly, fighting for each step. No alien cadet had ever gone beyond 2 G, but Jin kept going. Impossible, shouted Sergeant Krex. Jin completed the course and stood tall, even under the crushing weight. His muscles burned, but he didn't show his pain. Increase to 3.5 G, ordered Vex. Sir, that could kill him, warned Medical Officer Zin. But before anyone could react, the gravity suddenly jumped, not to 3.5 G, but to 4G Jin fell to his knees. The weight was too much, even for a human. "System malfunction," shouted Taiwan. "Shut it down." Jin felt like his bones would break. Black spots filled his vision. With his last strength, he looked up at the control room and saw something strange. Someone was smiling as they watched him suffer. Then everything went dark. Jin woke up in the medical bay. His whole body hurt. He tried to sit up but couldn't. "Don't move," said a soft voice. Medical officer Zin stood over him, checking screens that showed Jin's vital signs. "You were under 4G for almost 30 seconds. Most species would be dead." Jin's memories slowly returned. The gravity chamber, the test, then the sudden increase in gravity. "What happened?" Jin asked, his voice weak. "Someone changed the settings," Zin said quietly. "It was not an accident." The door opened, and Hannah rushed in, followed by Taiwan. "Jin, are you okay?" Hannah asked, real worry in her voice. "I'll live," Jin said, trying to smile. "Humans are tough." "Too tough, it seems," Taiwan said. "Someone doesn't like that." Commandant Vex entered the room. Everyone stood straight except Jin, who still couldn't get up. "A full investigation has begun," Vex announced. "The gravity controls were tampered with. This was a deliberate attack." "Against humans?" asked Hannah. "Or against what humans represent?" Vex replied. "Not everyone is happy to learn that a new powerful species has joined the Galactic Federation." A new person entered the room. He was human, wearing a formal uniform with Earth's symbol on it. "This is Junho," Taiwan said to Jin. "He's from Earth's diplomatic corps. He arrived this morning." Junho looked serious. "Earth takes this attack very seriously. Cadet Jin is the first human at the Academy. This is not just an attack on a cadet. It's an attack on Earth." Vex's scales changed color slightly. "We will find who did this." After the others left, Jin was alone with Hannah and Junho. "The real situation is complicated," Junho said quietly. "Some alien species are scared of humans now. They've seen what you can do." "But I was just doing the test," Jin said. "Exactly," Hannah replied. "And you survived gravity that would kill most aliens. That scares them." Junho nodded. "There's a group that wants you sent back to Earth. They claim humans are too dangerous to train with other species." Jin felt a mix of anger and sadness. "So what happens now?" "You have a choice," Junho said. "You can return to Earth with honor. No one would blame you. Or you can stay and finish your training." "If I leave, what happens to the next human cadet?" Jin asked. Junho and Hannah exchanged looks. "There might not be another human cadet," Hannah said softly. "Some Academy officials are already talking about banning humans." Jin tried to sit up again, and this time he managed it despite the pain. "Then I'm staying." Later that day, Lux visited Jin. The squid-like alien brought something that looked like blue fruits. "These help with healing," Lux explained. "At least for my species." Jin thanked him and took a small bite. It tasted strange but not bad. "Everyone's talking about what happened," Lux said. "Most cadets are on your side." But what?" Jin asked. "There's an insectoid cadet named Xer. His species, the Varn, have hated Deathworlders for centuries. He was near the gravity controls before your accident." Jin remembered the smile he had seen through the glass as he collapsed. "He has 6 arms and a green exoskeleton." "Yes, you saw him." Before Jin could answer, Commandant Vex entered with 2 security officers and a Varn cadet with 6 arms and green shell-like skin. It was the same alien Jin had seen smiling. "Cadet Xer has been found near the gravity chamber controls when they were tampered with," Vex announced. "He will be questioned." Xer's compound eyes turned toward Jin. "Humans don't belong here," he hissed. "Your kind will bring war to the galaxy. Deathworlders always do." As the security officers took Xer away, Jin wondered why the Varn hated humans so much. Humans had only joined the Galactic Federation recently. How could there be such deep hatred already? There's something we're not being told, Jin said to Lox after the others had left. What do you mean? Why would the Varn hate humans when we've just met? It doesn't make sense. Jin was determined to find answers. Something bigger was happening here, beyond just one cadet's jealousy. And he was going to discover what it was. 3 days after the gravity chamber incident, Jin was back in training. His body had healed quickly, surprising the medical staff. Humans recovered faster than most species in the galaxy. You should still be in bed, Lox said as they walked to class together. I'm fine, Jin insisted, and I need answers. Jin had been thinking about Xur's words. Why did the Varn hate humans so much? Something didn't add up. After classes, Jin met with Hannah in a quiet corner of the Academy's garden area. The space was filled with plants from different worlds, creating a peaceful spot where few cadets went. I need to see the Academy's records on Earth, Jin told her. There must be more information about humans than what we're being told. Hannah looked nervous. Those records are restricted. You're in intelligence. Can't you access them? Before Hannah could answer, a tall human man appeared behind them. She can't, but I can, the man said. Jin jumped up, surprised. Who are you? I'm Min-Ki, Earth Intelligence. He showed them a special badge. I've been at the Academy for 3 years, undercover as a maintenance worker. 3 years? Jin was shocked. But humans were only allowed to join the Academy this year. Min-Ki smiled. That's what everyone thinks. That's what we wanted them to think. He led Jin and Hannah through service corridors and hidden passages until they reached a secure door. The archives, Min-Ki explained. All Academy records are kept here. He used a special card to open the door. Inside, the room was dark except for the glow of computer screens. Shelves of data storage devices lined the walls. We don't have much time, Min-Ki said. Security checks this area every 30 minutes. They moved to a terminal, and Min-Ki quickly typed in commands. What exactly are we looking for? Hannah asked. Earth's true classification, Jin said, and any records of previous human contact with the Galactic Federation. Min-Ki nodded. Smart. Someone didn't want you to see this. The screen showed files with titles like Earth, Initial Contact, and Human Physiology, Classify Assessment. These files are dated 50 years ago, Jin said in surprise. But Earth officially joined the Federation only 5 years ago. Exactly, Min-Ki said. We've been lied to, both humans and aliens. He opened a file labeled Deathworld Species, Containment Protocols. Jin read the text with growing anger. This says high-gravity species like humans should be kept isolated from the galactic community. It calls us naturally aggressive and potential threats. There's more, Min-Ki said, opening another file. Look at this. The screen showed pictures of humans in older-style Earth military uniforms meeting with alien representatives. The date was 48 years ago. First contact happened decades before we were told, Hannah whispered. And there's this, Min-Ki said, pointing to a section of text. 3 other human cadets were secretly admitted to the Academy over the past 20 years. All 3 disappeared. Jin felt cold. What happened to them? Unknown. Records sealed by order of the Galactic Security Council. A soft noise made them turn around. An ancient-looking alien stood in the doorway. He had pale skin that seemed almost transparent, and eyes that looked like they had seen centuries pass. I wondered when you would come looking, the alien said in a thin voice. Min-Ki reached for a weapon, but the old alien raised his hand. I mean no harm. I am Archiver Tolox. I have kept the true records for over 200 years. True records? Jin asked. Yes, I can show you what really happened to the other human cadets, and why the Varn hate your kind so much. Tolox moved to the terminal and inserted a small device. This contains the unaltered records. The screen filled with new images, humans fighting alongside aliens in a war Jin had never heard of, humans performing incredible feats of strength, and something called the Deathworld Compact. "What is this?" Jin asked. "The truth," Tolox said. 50 years ago, a powerful group called the Galactic Consortium decided that species from high-gravity worlds were too dangerous. They created false records and erased the true history. "Why?" asked Hana. "Fear," Tolox replied simply. "Fear of what Deathworlders might become if given access to advanced technology and training." An alarm suddenly blared through the archives. "We've been discovered," Min-Ki said. "We need to leave. Now." Jin quickly copied files to a small data device Tolox gave him. "Find the other Deathworld species," Tolox whispered to Jin. "You are not alone in this fight." As they ran from the archives, Jin knew nothing would ever be the same again. The truth was far bigger and more dangerous than he had imagined. A week after the archive discovery, the Academy announced the combat trials. These tests would decide which cadets would advance to the next level of training. Jin sat in the cafeteria with Lox, looking at the trial assignments on his datapad. "They've paired you with Grek," Lox said, his tentacles moving nervously. "He's the top fighter in the Academy." Jin nodded. "I'm not surprised. They want me to fail." Since the archive incident, Jin had felt eyes watching him everywhere. Min-Ki had disappeared, and Hana warned Jin to be careful. The Galactic Consortium had powerful friends at the Academy. "Cadet Jin Han," a voice called. Jin turned to see Master Ulik, the Academy's combat instructor. Ulik was a tall, four-armed alien with gray skin and no hair. His eyes were completely white. "Come with me," Ulik said. Jin followed the instructor to a small training room. Inside, to Jin's surprise, stood his older brother Dahyun. "Brother." Jin rushed forward. The brothers hugged briefly. "I'm here with Earth's diplomatic mission," Dahyun explained. "When I heard about your combat trial, I had to come." Master Ulik closed the door. "We don't have much time. The combat trials are not fair. They want the human to lose." Jin was surprised by Ulik's honesty. "Why are you helping me?" "I was there 50 years ago," Ulik said. "I fought alongside the first humans in the Terralan conflict, before the records were changed." Dahyun pulled out a small device. "This contains videos of Grek's previous fights. We need to prepare you." They spent hours studying Grek's fighting style. The alien had 6 limbs and moved with incredible speed. "You can't match his speed," Ulik said. "But you have human strength. One hit from you could seriously hurt him." "I don't want to hurt anyone," Jin said. "That's what they're counting on," Dahyun replied. "They want you to hold back and lose, or to hurt Grek badly and prove humans are dangerous." Jin understood the trap. Either way, humans would look bad. "There is a third path," Ulik said. "I will show you." For the next 3 days, Jin trained with Ulik and Dahyun in secret. They taught him a fighting style that used an opponent's movements against them. The day of the combat trials arrived. The Academy's arena was filled with cadets and instructors. Even Commandant Vex was there, watching from a special box. Jin stood in the center of the ring, waiting for Grek. His opponent entered to loud cheers. Grek was larger than Jin had expected, with 6 muscular arms and tough, scale-covered skin. "Begin," announced the referee. Grek moved fast, attacking with all 6 arms at once. Jin didn't try to match his speed. Instead, he used the techniques Ulik had taught him, redirecting Grek's force rather than blocking it. Grek's powerful strikes hit only air as Jin moved out of the way each time. The crowd watched in silence, surprised by the human's strange fighting style. "Fight back, coward," Grek shouted, frustrated. Jin didn't respond. He continued to avoid rather than attack, waiting for the right moment. Finally, Grek made a mistake. He overextended on a punch, losing his balance for just a second. Jin moved in, using Greg's own momentum to flip him to the ground. Before Greg could get up, Jin had him pinned. But instead of hurting his opponent, Jin simply held him there, showing control rather than aggression. After 10 seconds, the referee announced, "Match to Cadet Jin Han." The arena was silent. Jin had won without throwing a single punch. He helped Greg up. "Good fight," Jin said. Greg seemed confused, but nodded in respect. As Jin left the arena, he saw Commandant Vex watching him with new interest. Beside Vex stood a tall, ancient-looking alien Jin had never seen before. The alien wore formal robes with symbols Jin didn't recognize. "Who is that?" Jin asked Dahyun, who had come to congratulate him. "Elder Kraz," Dahyun replied, his voice tense. "He's from the Galactic Council. His presence here is not good news." "What does he want?" "You. He's here for you, Jin." After the combat trials ended, Jin was called to Commandant Vex's office. There, Elder Kraz stood looking out at the stars. "Human Jin Han," Kraz said without turning. "Your performance has triggered an ancient protocol. The test of species worthiness has been invoked." Jin looked at Vex, who seemed uncomfortable. "What does that mean?" Jin asked. "It means," Kraz said, finally turning to face Jin, "that you will represent not just yourself, but all of humanity in a series of trials. Trials designed to test whether your kind deserves a place among the stars." The shuttle carried Jin and a small team to the moon orbiting the gas giant. This barren rock was the site of the test of species worthiness, a challenge no race had faced in over 300 years. Jin looked out the window at the gray, dusty surface. No plants, no water, just rocks and ancient structures built by a long-gone civilization. "Are you ready?" asked Jae-young, a human xenobiologist who had joined the team. She was the newest human arrival, sent by Earth to help Jin understand the alien challenges. "I don't know," Jin admitted. "No one will tell me what these tests actually are." Jae-young nodded. "That's because they're different for each species. The tests adapt to challenge your specific abilities and weaknesses." Also on the shuttle were Hannah, Tadwan, and Dahyun, all there to support Jin. Lox had wanted to come but wasn't allowed. Elder Kraz sat alone at the front, his ancient eyes closed in meditation. The shuttle landed near a massive stone structure. It looked like a temple with tall columns and wide steps, leading to a dark entrance. "The testing grounds," Elder Kraz announced, standing up. "Built by the first ones, the oldest known species in our galaxy. They created these trials to judge which races were worthy of joining galactic society." Jin stepped out onto the moon's surface. The gravity was light, making him feel like he could jump into the sky. "Follow me," Elder Kraz said. "Only Cadet Jin, and I may enter." Jin looked back at his friends. Dahyun gave him a thumbs up. Hannah smiled. Taiwan nodded solemnly. "We'll be waiting," Jae-young said. "Remember everything we discussed about alien psychology." Jin followed Elder Kraz up the stone steps and into the darkness of the temple. As soon as they entered, lights began to glow along the walls, activated by their presence. "These tests were designed to be impossible," Kraz said as they walked. "Their purpose isn't for you to pass them all." "Then what's the point?" Jin asked. "To see how you fail. To learn what kind of species humans truly are." They reached a large circular room with symbols carved into the floor. In the center stood a pillar of light. "The first test begins here," Kraz said. "I cannot help you. I am only here to witness." Jin stepped toward the light. As soon as he entered it, the room around him changed. He was suddenly standing in what looked like an earth forest, but the trees were strange colors, purple and blue instead of green. A voice spoke from nowhere. Strength test initiated. 3 large creatures emerged from the trees. They looked like bears, but with 6 legs and armored skin. They growled and moved toward Jin. Jin remembered what Zhu Yum had told him. The tests might seem real, but they're mostly projections mixed with force fields. They can hurt you, but they can't kill you. The bear creatures attacked. Jin dodged the first one but was hit by the second. The blow was real. He felt pain as he was knocked down. Jin got up quickly. He couldn't outrun these creatures in the small space. He had to fight. Using his human strength, Jin punched the nearest creature. It was like hitting a wall. The creature didn't even flinch. "Physical force ineffective," the voice announced. Jin thought quickly. If strength wouldn't work, what would? He looked around and noticed patterns on the trees, the same symbols he had seen on the floor outside. He touched one of the symbols. Immediately, the creature nearest to that tree froze. Jin understood now. This wasn't a test of brute strength, but of observation and intelligence. He ran to the other trees, touching the symbols. All the creatures froze. "Strength test complete," the voice said. Subject used intelligence instead of force. Advancement granted. The forest disappeared, and Jin was back in the circular room with Elder Kraz. "Interesting," Kraz said. "Most species try to fight until they're exhausted." "Fighting isn't always the answer," Jin replied. "Indeed, perhaps humans are different than we thought." Kraz led Jin to the next room. But this was only the first test. The hardest ones are yet to come. Jin followed, wondering what other challenges awaited him. He knew these tests weren't just about him. They would determine how all humans were seen by the galactic community. In the next room, Jin saw a table covered with strange devices. Some looked like weapons, others like tools. "The test of adaptation," Kraz announced. "Let us see how a human handles the unknown." Jin stepped forward, ready to face whatever came next. As a human from Earth, a death world that had forced his species to constantly adapt and overcome, he felt prepared. This was what humans did best. Jin had passed 6 tests over 2 days. He had solved puzzles that seemed impossible. He had survived challenges that tested his body and mind. Now, exhausted and sore, he faced the final test. "This is the Chamber of Choice," Elder Kraz said as they entered a large round room. In the center stood 2 pedestals with glowing orbs, one blue, one red. "What do I need to do?" Jin asked. "Choose," Kraz replied simply. "The blue orb will guarantee your personal success. You will graduate from the academy at the top of your class. You will have power and respect." Jin looked at the blue orb. It seemed to call to him, promising everything he had worked for. "And the red orb?" Jin asked. "The red orb will give nothing to you personally. Instead, it will grant Earth better standing in the Galactic Federation. Humans will be reclassified from probationary members to full allies. Your people will gain access to more planets, more technology, more opportunities." Jin stared at the 2 orbs. "So I choose between helping myself or helping all humans." "Yes, this is the final test, the test of sacrifice." Jin thought about his time at the academy. He remembered why Earth had sent him here, not just for his own achievement, but to open doors for all humans. He thought of his sister Suji back on Earth, dreaming of traveling to the stars someday. Without hesitation, Jin placed his hand on the red orb. It glowed brightly and then faded. "You choose your species over yourself," Kraz observed. "Interesting. Most choose personal glory. What's the point of my success if others can't follow?" Jin asked. The room changed around them. The walls became transparent, revealing the circle of aliens watching from outside. Among them, Jin saw Commandant Vex, Sergeant Krex, and other Academy officials. Also present was a human Jin didn't recognize, an older man wearing the formal uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps with many medals on his chest. "Jin Han," the man said, stepping forward. "I am Ambassador Kita. Your choice here today will change humanity's future." Elder Kraz addressed the gathered officials. The human has completed all tests. More importantly, he chose to benefit his species rather than himself. I declare the test of species worthiness complete. There were murmurs among the aliens. Not all seemed happy with this outcome. A tall, insect-like alien stepped forward. Jin recognized the species. It was a Varn, like Cadet Xer. I object, the Varn official said. Humans cannot be trusted. They are Deathworlders, naturally violent and dangerous. Yet this human showed restraint in every test. Kraz replied. He used intelligence over strength. He chose to help others rather than himself. To Jin's surprise, Sergeant Krex moved forward. I have watched this human since he arrived. I tried to break him. I failed. Jin Han has honor and discipline that many of our species lack. Jin was shocked. Sergeant Krex was defending him. The Varn hissed in anger. You don't understand what you're doing. If humans gain power in the galaxy, they will dominate us all. Ambassador Kita spoke calmly. We seek partnership, not dominance. Earth has much to learn from galactic society, but we also have much to offer. Elder Kraz raised his hand for silence. The tests have spoken. The human race has proven its worthiness through its representative. Jin felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He had done it, not just for himself, but for all humans. As they left the ancient testing ground, Jin walked beside Sergeant Krex. The alien who had once tried to break him now looked at him with something like respect. Why did you defend me? Jin asked. Krex was quiet for a moment. I come from a species that was once feared too. We were judged by our appearance, not our actions. I did the same to you. For that, I apologize. Jin nodded, understanding. Thank you, Sergeant. Ambassador Kite approached them. Jin Han, the Galactic Council will meet in 3 days to discuss Earth's new status. Your actions here have changed everything. Jin looked back at the ancient temple as they boarded the shuttle. Whatever happened next, humanity's place in the stars would never be the same. And it had all started with one human cadet who refused to break, who kept pushing past every limit they set for him. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was enormous. Thousands of seats rose in circles, filled with representatives from hundreds of worlds. Jin stood with the Earth delegation, feeling small in such a vast space. Don't be nervous, Ambassador Kita said. You've already done the hard part. Jin wasn't sure about that. Facing the council seemed more difficult than any physical test. High above, on a floating platform, sat the 7 counselors who led the Galactic Federation. Elder Kraz was among them. The other 6 represented the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. We gather today to discuss the status of Earth and humanity, announced the head counselor, a tall being with silver skin. Following the test of species worthiness, we must decide if humans should be granted full alliance status. The Varn representative immediately stood. I object. Humans are from a Class 12 death world. They are too strong, too aggressive to be trusted with full alliance technologies. Murmurs spread through the hall. Jin could see that many representatives shared this fear. To Jin's surprise, Commandant Vex requested permission to speak. The head counselor nodded. I have watched Cadet Jin Han since he arrived at our academy, Vex said. Yes, humans are physically stronger than many species. Yes, they can survive conditions that would kill most of us. But strength alone does not define them. Vex turned to look directly at Jin. This human cadet showed restraint when he could have hurt others. He showed intelligence when faced with challenges. And most importantly, he chose to help his entire species rather than gain personal power. A silence fell over the hall. Then Archiver Tolox hobbled to the speaking platform, supported by his walking staff. The ancient alien looked even frailer in the huge hall. I have kept the true records for 200 years, Tolox said in his thin voice. I have watched as the truth about humans and other Deathworld species was hidden and changed. This was wrong. Tolox activated a projection. It showed scenes from 50 years ago. Humans working alongside aliens, helping evacuate a planet before a solar flare hit it. Humans helped save millions during the Proxima crisis. Tolox continued. Yet this was erased from our official history. Why? Because certain powerful interests feared what humans might become. The hall erupted in shocked voices. Many representatives had never seen these records before. High Admiral Zex, commander of the Galactic Fleet, stood next. Jin had never seen him before, but his uniform showed his high rank. The fleet has always valued ability over origin, the Admiral said. We need species like humans, adaptable, resourceful, and yes, strong. The threats from beyond our galaxy grow each year. We need all the help we can get. After hours of debate, the head counselor called for a vote. Jin held his breath as the results appeared on a giant screen. The vote was close, but clear. Earth would be granted full alliance status. Humans would now have access to more advanced technology, more star systems, and more opportunities in the Galactic Federation. Ambassador Kita squeezed Jin's shoulder. You did this. One human cadet changed everything. 3 months later, Jin stood in the Academy's Grand Hall for graduation. He wore the silver uniform of a graduate with a new symbol on his shoulder, Earth's flag with a star behind it, marking humans as full alliance members. Jin wasn't the only human graduate anymore. After the Council's decision, 5 more humans had been admitted to the Academy's advanced program. They sat in the front row, watching Jin with pride. Commandant Vex presented Jin with his graduation medal. Cadet Jin Han, you have shown the true potential of your species. The Academy is honored to count you among its graduates. Sergeant Krex stood behind Vex, his scales now a proud blue color. He gave Jin a nod of respect, something Jin never thought he would see. After the ceremony, Lox approached Jin with his tentacles waving happily. What will you do now, friend? Jin smiled. High Admiral Zex offered me a position on his flagship, but I turned it down. Why? Lox asked, surprised. Because I'm coming back here as an instructor. Jin looked at the new human cadets talking excitedly nearby. Someone needs to teach the next generation. 1 year later, Jin stood before a new class of cadets, humans, and aliens together. As a training instructor, he would help shape the future of the Academy. When I first came here, Jin told them, many thought humans didn't belong. They said we were too different, too strong, too dangerous. He looked at the eager faces before him. But being different isn't a weakness, it's a strength. The galaxy needs all of us, with all our different abilities and perspectives. As Jin began the day's lesson, he noticed Sergeant Krex watching from the doorway. The once harsh drill sergeant gave him a respectful salute. Jin had come full circle from the Deathworlder Cadet, who broke every limit, to the instructor who would help others find their own potential, no matter what world they came from.